technical difficulties. All right, gone. Shalom Israel, Shalom Yeshua. Brother Chazwan Gabriel, Allah coming back at you with precepts and yet another code cut doing the course. All honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shem Mashak, while I'm like y'all shot, I charge y'all the righteous. Get a mighty kabal kabayim. I was like, why by that? Had that word. Right, that's double honor to the elders of the house of David. That's been laboring and doing this truth. Patiently waiting for the second coming of our Lord Mashak. While I'm like y'all shot, I touch the docket. Right, doing in this truth. Right through all elements, right? Spirits, tumults, right? 20, 25, 30, 40 plus years, being sound pillars and foundations and perfect examples of what it means to endure inside of this truth, right? Of course, as well as building up the nation through wisdom, through counsel, right? Through leadership, order, right? Guidance, and wisdom, right? Of course, giving a strong shalom, white WATCHMEN Shabbat to our money Akim, right? In Israel. Laboring, pushing his truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity, going out to the highways, byways, and hedges, plowing, sowing seeds, right? Growing, building up the nation, right? Through the spirit of prophecy, right? Wisdom, understanding, right? And also giving a strong shalom to all the Akim that's building themselves up to go on to the highways and byways, right? Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, right? Being husbands, fathers, right? Leaders, okay? Right? Taking care of your children and doing the righteous works of the Most High God, right? To all the Akim, the brothers, spiritual shalom, right? Also, right? Giving the heart shalom, while WATCHMEN Shashamar thoughts, to all the Aqua, finished truth, married and unmarried, reverencing and honoring their husbands, right? Raising them the children decently and in order, right? Doing all the mighty works of a Proverbs 31 woman, right? Titus 2, right? Sirach, the 26th chapter, right? And doing all the righteous works and acts of our foremothers, right? Through the Spirit, right? Of course, giving a hearty, strong shalom, what WATCHMEN Shai, Brock washing my thumb to all the valiant and mighty children in Israel, right? The beautiful sons and daughters, right? Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, honoring your mother and your father, being a light, pillar, and sound foundation, right? In this land of darkness, to all the Mashapop, the family far and near, right? Visual shalom, right? So through the Spirit, right? It's a quick, right? A quick exhortation, man, right? Exhortation, right? To continue to stay in the Spirit, man. To continue to fight the good fight, to continue to keep the faith right through the Spirit, man. Or because there's a lot of small things, right, or the little things, as they say, man, right, that, you know, a lot of our people take for granted, right? You know, even as they, you know, they say in the world, so-called, right, it's the small battles, man, right? The little fights, right, that you accomplish and that you overcome day to day, right? Take those small victories, man, right? Don't look for the so-called greater wars, man, right? And even a lot of wars are built and won off of small battles, man, right? When you look through history, right? So let's go to the book of Sirach. Understand? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse number 4. It reads, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state, man. Right? And that's deep, man. Right? Because a lot of men, right, when they're facing adversity, right, when you're facing a trials or tribulation, man, right, you run to something that's central, right, something carnal, right, whether it's men in the world, right, running to their blunt, crack, a needle, all right, right, or a man that runs to, right, a bottle, right, that runs towards so-called women, right, that runs to so-called things that pleasure and so-called takes your mind away, right, from what you're going through, man. Instead of having your mind focused and set up upon the Most High God, man, right? Instead of understanding, man, right, that you still have a plethora, right, of things to be grateful for, man. Right? Certain men, they, you know, they may lose their jobs, right? They may lose your, you know, your so-called, your so-called house, man, right? You may lose your so-called car, right? You may lose something that, on a carnal sense, may have be thought of as valuable, as high esteemed, right? High importance thereof, man. All right, but the Most High said what? whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, man. Right? Look at Job. Right? Actually, let me get that real fast. Right? Right? Because the Lord said, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and also what? Be patient when thou art brought into a low estate. Right? Let's go to the book of Job. Right? The classic. Right? Job, chapter 42. All right? And I'm going to start at verse. I'm going to start at verse number 10. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Then came there unto him all his brethren and all his sisters, and all they that had been his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she asses. Right? He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters, man. Right, so the Lord blessed Job, man, within his latter end. Right? And restored, right, all that he had. Manyfold, man. Right? Right, the sons, right, that were disowned, that were cut off, or destroyed in the first chapter thereof, man. Okay. Right? Let's get that real fast, too. Right, Job. Right? Chapter 1. Right, it's Job, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse, right, number, Yeah, Job, chapter 1, and verse number 18. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, Thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their elders' brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men. They are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee, man. Right? Russell, hey, you may have certain things that may happen that may have been extremely traumatic, man. Right? Right? That may have been, damn, you may have gotten a notice, man. Right? Of an illness that you may have been plagued with, man. Okay? Right? You may have a certain conditions, right? Certain matters or certain things that may happen to, right? A member of your family, a friend, so-called, man. Right? But the Lord can also restore them, man. Right? The Lord can also heal them. The Lord can also heal you, man. And bring all things back manyfold, man. Right? And from those ruins, right? From the decayed state that you may have been once in, man. To bring those things back unto new again, man. All right, so let's go back to the book of Sirach, right? Sirach 2, right? I'm gonna read that again. Right, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, man. All right, it's as they say, it's not about the situations that you get yourself in, man. It's how you deal with them, man. Right, when you are in those situations that matters, man. Right. As being in the truth, man. It's actually an honorable thing, man. Because not a lot of men, right, have this opportunity to receive the knowledge that you have, to get the understanding, right? That's a blessing within itself, right? Let me go to the book of Zechariah, right? And also, right, understanding, man, that things could always be worse, man. Right? Things could always be worse, right? Hey, you stubbed your toe, man. Hey, but someone they lost their toes, bro. Right? Hey, a man may have lost his foot, right? Right, or his toes, man. But the other one, man, lost his leg. All right, and you still have those men right that are without, right, that are going through worse things, man. Still praising the Most High, right? Still going 10 times harder, even on the left hand side, man. Still going 30 times harder, man, than you, and not making excuses, right? Come, so let's go to the book Zechariah, right? Zechariah chapter 9 and verse number 17. It reads, "For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make men cheerful, and new wine." It's like in new wine, the maids, man. All right, right. The Lord said, "A corn, right, shall make men cheerful, man." Right, and corn is going into what, the blessings, right? Let's go into that, right, in the book of Sirach, right? Sirach, chapter 40, and verse number 22. It reads, "Thine eye desired favor and beauty, but more than both, corn while it is green," right? And all men want your corn, right? Right, when it's green, right? Right, meaning what? When once it comes to, right, the fullness of it thereof, man. Right, right, when it's ripe, when it's ready for the picking, so called, man. Right, and the Lord sends, right? He sends, man, a blessings within abundance, man. Right, the gift and the beauty of prophecy, man. Okay, the understanding of the scriptures and the doctrine thereof, the ability and gift to be able to teach, to prophesy, to speak in tongues, right, to evangelize, man. Okay, right, to do you got certain brothers that have the ability to perform exorcisms, man, right, and cast out demons, out of people, man. Right, you have those that have the gifts to interpret visions and dreams thereof, right? Let me get that in the book of Proverbs, man. Hey, these are things to be thankful for and to beseech the Most High of, man. Right, it's the book of Proverbs, right? Proverbs chapter 11 and verse start 26. Right, it reads, "He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the land of him that selleth it," man. Right, so if you withhold the corn, man, right, the people will curse you, right? Chiefly, right, if a man, right, holds back money, right, hold back price, man, hold back things that are sufficient and needful, right, for the people to grow thereby, man, right, to be fed, to be built up, to be nurtured thereby, man. The people would envy this man. But the Lord, he giveth you double than that, right? Than what your iniquity deserveth, man. Right? The Lord, he gives you prophets, man. Right? The Lord, he gives you teachers, deacons, man. Okay. Right? He gives you men, right? With the gifts that the Most High has bestowed upon them, proceeding to Luke the 19th chapter, man. Along with the Most High, he also gives you gifts, man, and talents thereof, man. And these are things that we cannot neglect, right? These are things that no matter what we're going through, man, right? Whether you're feeling you have a so-called good, right, day, inside of this truth, or good week, right? Whether you you're having a so-called right bad time, right? You're catching hell, right? Households, right? Things may be going on, right? Or finances may not be going the way that you may want them, man. Right? Or if you have things that's going on in abundance thereof, man, and you don't want to neglect the Most High, man, and you don't want to to take advantage, man, right? In wickedness, or and more so abuse, man. Okay, what the Most High is giving you, man, and you want to take all things cheerfully, man. Right? Let me get that Slock in the book of Proverbs. All right, quick precept. All right, kind of Slock. Right, it's the book of right, the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and verse number 7. It reads, 2 things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and still, and take the name of my God in vain, man. Right, so everything is a just balance, man. Right? Because you can have things within an abundance, man. Right? Look at these so-called these top athletes, right? These so-called rappers, man, right? Or major artists, man. Right? Look at these men that have millions and billions, right? Within abundance, man. Right? They don't really know the Lord, man. Right? If all else fails, man, and it was you would have to keep the commandments, man. Right? Or cast away your millions, man. And we seeing time and time again that many of these people fold, man, thereof, man. Right? And how much more a man that doesn't have enough, man. Right? Or doesn't have anything, man. Right? You don't want to be an evil and wicked man, right? And curse the Most High, right? Because the Lord is doing all of these things thereof, man. Right? Which is why it's wise and mighty, man, to always praise the Most High, man, at all times, and to always give him, right, his due rendering thereof, man. Right? And which, whether you're brought down to a lower state, endure that, man. Right? As the Lord said to Timothy, man, right, to endure hardness as a good soldier, man. Right? And recalling the precepts, right? Acts 14 and 22, man. Right? Knowing therefore that what? That through much tribulation shall we inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Paraphrasing greatly, man. Right? Even understanding Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, man. Right? And Slaki, Second Ezra. Right? Let me get that real fast. Right? Quick point. Because all things that as you would say, all things that beseech a reward, man, it all comes through pain. Right? Let me go to the book of right, Slaki, Second Ezra. Right? Second Ezra, chapter 10. And I'm gonna start at verse, right? I'm gonna start at verse number 6. And it reads, right, and it reads, actually, Slaki, Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse number 45. It reads, after 30 years the Most High heard me, thine handmaid looked up upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son, and I was very glad. So was my husband also, and all my neighbors. And we gave great honor unto the Almighty, and I nourished him with great travail. Right? And And again, right, dealing with right the gifts, right, of children, man, right, that comes with pain, right, pains of labor pains, right, contractions thereof, man, right, having to push, having to have a that delivery thereof, man, right, without getting too deep thereof, right, but to even bring forth life, right, these things come with pain, man, right. So the same way that we must enter into the king, and even after that, man, right? There's a gladness and a relaxation, right? And a sense of pride, right? And a sense of happiness and joy, man, that comes with after giving that birth thereof, man. Right? How much more the joy and gladness of enduring temptations, enduring battles, right? And in doing all things, right, for this time and season, right, for the Lord to give us a crown and reward in that due time, man. Right? So with that, right, again, right, if a brother or sister, man, is going through anything, right, making sure that you're reaching out, right, making sure, right, that you're confiding in a counselor, man, right, one among 1,000, okay, right? Making sure, right, that you're doing all things and being around like-minded sisters, like-minded brothers, man. That's gonna continue to exhort you, man, right? And even confiding inside the precepts and scriptures, man. Okay, right? To continue to endure, to continue to fight, man, and continue, man. Right, whenever anything brings you low within the spirit, you have that just balance to lift you up and to keep you going, to keep pushing, and to keep fighting, man. The good fight. So with that, brother, Tazwan Gabriella coming back to the precepts. And yet another cold cut. And of course, honor and glory to Yahweh by showing my shot. Well, I'm lucky I was shay. I taught the docket of righteous. Upper righteous our Lord willing. This lesson was extremely edifying. And until the next time, I want to say, Shalom. Kwame Yasha.